Hello again. I am Tony from Rome, Italy. In this week 6, I will explain the usage of the 5 most important synthesis modules: oscillator, filter, amplifier, envelope, and LFO. A synthesizer is a tool that allows you to generate sound, modulate the sound, and amplify the sound. Sound synthesis starts from simple waves. This sound is controlled by connecting modules to each other. The general flow of a synthesizer is from oscillator to filter, and then to amplifier. There are a number of approaches to sound creation with a synthesizer. Although there are numerous differences between synthesizer models, most follow a fundamentally similar architecture and signal flow that is based on subtractive synthesis principles. In essence, this is how subtractive synthesis works. You filter, or cut away, the parts of the sound that you don't want to hear. In other words, you subtract parts of the frequency spectrum, consisting of the fundamental tone and associated harmonics. I'll use, in my lesson, the ES1 synth of Logic Pro. This is a great example of a virtual analog synthesizer. Its virtual signal flow is that of a typical analog synthesizer, but all the signal processing, the virtual oscillators and so on, is performed by the CPU of your computer. Before you take a look at the individual parameters of the ES1, this section will familiarize you with the various elements that constitute the ES1's graphical interface, which is broken down into 6 main areas. The oscillator is what generates the sound. This section will usually have a control for selecting waveforms including sine, sawtooth, triangle, square, and noise. The different type of waveforms produce different sounds depending on their wave shape. The sine wave is the purest tone, which is only a single fundamental frequency. The other waves are typically named for the shapes the waveform makes. Filters are used to modulate the sound produced from the oscillator. The most common filter is the LFO low-frequency oscillator, but other filters may be used including high-pass filters and band-pass filters. The cutoff slider controls the cutoff frequency of the ES1's low-pass filter. The resonance slider cuts or boosts the portions of the signal that surround the frequency defined by the cutoff parameter. Boost can be set so intensively that the filter begins to oscillate by itself. The voltage-controlled amplifier varies its gain depending on control voltage. This last link in the chain is the module that outputs sound to a source such as a sound card or digital file. The LFO generates an adjustable, cyclic waveform that can be used to modulate other ES1 parameters. The LFO acts below 20 Hz and creates a pulse or sweep that can be similar to tremolo, vibrato, or wah-wah. The LFO doesn't create a sound on its own as it acts below 20 Hz. The sound is produced when the LFO is connected to the synthesizer's oscillator. This will create a pitch variation dependent upon settings. Using this envelope module, you can create a wide range of sound types such as a plucked string sound to a bud string sound and even beyond. Often, an envelope is connected to the filter. This envelope is controlled using ADSR, which stands for attack time, delay time, sustain level, and release time. Attack determines the amount of time that it takes for the envelope to reach the initial, desired level. Decay slider determines how long it takes for the envelope to fall to the sustain level, following the initial attack time. Sustain sets the sustain level, which is held until the keyboard key is released. Release determines the length of time that it takes the envelope to fall from the sustain level to a level of 0.